B.G. Derrick was born December 15, 1980 in Alexandria, Louisiana, just 3 hours away from New Orleans, where his parents would soon move to before Lil Derrick was 1 year old. So the N.O. was all he knew, and years later, the entire city would know him back. He was nephew to Birdman and Slim, and the legend drew out the states.
Well, we lived on LaSalle, second LaSalle. That's kind of up the street from the New England Cool. So, but you know, my brother, he a real street nigga. You know, ran everywhere. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and then like, you know, that's what Baby them at, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he was always around them and shit like too, so. Uptown
Tent Ward St. Thomas Projects lied south of Central City in the Lower Garden District area and was one of the city's most dangerous places to live. From 1987 to 1991, the St. Thomas led the city with the highest rates of all crimes, which included murders, rapes, robberies, and assaults, and was highly notable throughout the city for targeting new faces.
People shared love with one another, but it was like if this was in your area, you didn't hang out in the St. Thomas.
I don't know why I want to associate him with the Magnolia so much, but he was more Magnolia than anything else. He was St. Thomas, right?
No, it was more St. Thomas.
With Derrick hung out in any project. I mean, anybody knew Derrick, he didn't have a project that he couldn't go into.
They people used to like try to tell them about coming to Cali and shit, you feel me? Because they know what the Cali was known for, you feel me?
Yeah.
But you know, they ain't care. They warn about coming back there, chilling with us.
We got the knockout artist known as Derrick out the St. Thomas, okay?
Yeah, the Thomas was just their own world. They had their money, you feel me? They had the money, they had everything. The Thomas ain't need nobody else for nothing. You feel me?
Say, well, why is that? Because it was closer to the river, so they touched it first? Or?
Man, I don't know what the fuck it was. Them was just like that. They were just blessed. You hear me? Just like that. You hear me? A big ass project. And they had everything. They ain't had to lead a project.
Lil Derrick was nephew to Baby and Slim, and when it came to the streets of the N.O., he was just as popular. He was a well-known hustler whose real lifestyle mimicked the scene straight out of the Paid in Full movie, where he's Mitch in the city of New Orleans was literally his stage.
They got this baller in the hood who got flocks of that coke. His name's Stunna. He heard I be bumping that dope. He told me holler when I sell out, come at him and scope. And if I'm about that, he gon' help me grow.
With the same bloodline as the Williams brothers, it was evident that Lil Derrick could hustle, and it was no different when it came to rap.
I met Derrick at school, like, you know what I'm saying, at Fauché. We was at Fauché, like, we in the same homeroom, so I didn't know he rapped. This fucking rap to me, I said, oh shit. I mean, him start just hooking up, like he'll call, he'll beat me, I'll beat him, we'll hook up, and we'll be writing raps, riding around in the car.
To my Derrick?
Mm-hmm. Like, that's when, like, you know what I'm saying, and that's when he introduced me to Leave It. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, when he introduced me to Leave It, then all three of us started riding around, and then I was like, man, fucking Leon cold as a motherfucker. And then I remember, Leave It used to beef up there with Baby and them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Then fucking Derrick used to be up there, so all us up there.
With the ability to master a drum set before the age of 10, he was already musically tuned and was there at the start of his uncle's label, which Derrick was the perfect fit for, but for whatever reason was never recruited.
With the Cash Money area, that's one thing I can say about Stunna. He kept us in a studio, and there wasn't no limit to what he'll do with the studio. The studio was to keep you out of trouble. And that's the way how Derrick was voted out of being a hot boy, you feel me?
By the time Cash Money had taken over regionally, Lil Derrick was already lyrically official within the city, but was overlooked by his uncles when they were forming their new group, the Hot Boys, a group Derrick wanted in on, and even took on the title 5th Hot Boy until the day of his departure.
You was around the time when B.G. Derrick was running with Birdman? Because I heard he was going to be a Hot Boy member, is that real?
Yeah. He was.
And when he told him as young they were gonna put him on his feet, you know, I think that gave him that extra drive that made him go at it even harder to be a rapper and stuff like that, that he put in more work than he already had it in him.
Derrick was like, he was used like leverage of him being a street dude and be like, man, you ain't really talking that talk because you ain't really doing that to other artists in the group, you feel me? And so that kind of got him voted out of the group because he always wanted to dibble and dab from rap to street just to make sure his credibility was there also.
See, bro, wait a minute, so you say he was voted out?
Yeah, he was voted out of the Hot Boys.
By other members?
By other members, yeah.
And that was due to they felt threatened by it or something?
Derek aggravates a person, you feel me? You know, playing with people and shit like that. Not disrespectful playing with people, but it's just like peer pressure. Like Derek could be like, y'all can't go uptown, I'm about to go uptown. So of course Wayne gonna be like, man, I'm going with Derek. Or either Turk gonna be like, I'm going to ride with Derek, you feel me? That basically make them leave the studio and start to look around like, where Wayne at? Wayne in the car with Derek, uptown, you feel me? And he didn't want them to be in that type of environment.
So Wayne looked up to Derek?
Yeah, of course. Because Derek was more in the street than any one of us.
He was one of the ones that was really wild. You know what I'm saying? At that time, Baby and them didn't really allow that too much of that shit to go on. He let them do what they do, but hey, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes that shit could be bad for business.
Just going to Birdman complaining about it, or?
I don't think it even was no complaint. I think it was just a popped up question of like where you was yesterday, Turk, and they'll be like, oh, I was uptown. Who you was with when you was uptown last week? I was with Derek. Derek gave me a ride home. Well, Wayne at? Man, Wayne riding with Derek somewhere. They with some little bras or whatever. Cause Derek got rentals. Derek got rental cars.
It ain't that looking don't f with you, is the shit that you do. You don't want to get caught up in your mix, and it's bad for business. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know who you're getting on with. I don't know who you shot. I don't know who you owe, who you got fronted from, all that. All this shit play a part. You see what I'm saying? I don't know who you robbed. I don't know none of that shit. So that's the way Birdman them used to look at us. You see what I'm saying? Like, them little motherfuckers wild, them little bitches gonna do their thing. And Lil Derek was one of them.
Yeah, like I say, I just rolled in here like dice. You understand? So anything happened with me, you understand?
How was Turk and BG Derek?
I talked to Turk on yesterday, and we talked about when Derek got voted out of the group, and he was like he was getting a lot of backlash because of that, because he said that. But it was only the truth, like. But you know, it wasn't like they just wanted him out the group for a certain reason. It was just like, you know, just like they felt like he was the one that was a bad influence over them.
You know, me with the money thing, that's just my life. That's been my life since I'm a youngster. I've always been a hustler about money, so
ultimately it was Birdman's decision. Birdman seeing the shit that he just made a decision that.
I don't want to just put all the weight on Bird, because even Turk said they voted him out, you feel me?
Okay.
And because me and Turk talked about that like last week sometime on his live, and he was like, a lot of people was mad about him saying that, but they voted him out.
Well, Turk had already mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when they voted Derek out, was Juvie already a part of the group?
Yeah, Juve was already part of the group.
So the Hot Boys was going to be fine.
Yeah.
What actually happened? Did Birdman give him a call and just let him know you out of?
I think they just went to moving around with different studios. They'll just switch dates and shit like that, going to a festival or either 33 St. Charles.
So they just basically started avoiding them?
Yeah, just basically started avoiding them, shit like that.
And so what happened? How did Derek take that and how did he start moving? That's what sent him to Undisputed?
That's what just sent him to being his own person and wanting to do his own thing.
I know one thing, had Derek been alive today, he was gonna make it with or without, without my brother and them. He was gonna make it.
Derek, lay it down. All right, lay it down. Lay it down. Lay it down. Y'all lay it down. Lay it down. It don't make sense. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. This ain't number 5, G. You know what it is, Derek? Shit we gonna throw away. This ain't no we gonna throw away. This ain't number 5, G. It's all baby.
BG Derek, you heard me? Real talk, dude. That really was the Birdman to me. You feel me? No disrespect to the big Birdman, but that was the Birdman right there.
BG Derek, aka Lil Derek's real name was Derek Williams, and not only did he share the streets of uptown New Orleans with the Williams brothers, he shared their last name and direct bloodline.
It's that big. I want shot at my little nephew Derek. Blood thicker than water.
Did Derek used to run with Birdman a lot?
Yes, a lot. Yes, he did run with him a lot. Anybody knew him? He was crazy about him. He idolized. He gave him the respect. He called himself the #1 stunner. Derek called himself the #2 stunner. Most people tell me Derek a #1 stunner.
You a rapper, I'm a rhymer. You hurting, I'm a timer. I'm a condo buy, you living with your mama. And I'm about drama, you scared as up. I'm undisputed in that ring, homie. You go dark.
You ran with BG Derek.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, Derek a legend like that. But talk Derek, man, BG Derek. I mean, if coming from Bub.
Man, he was who he was. Straight stunner. You hear me? You hear me? And he got his little ways with him too. You feel me? He got his little ways with him too. They thought Derek was just all about stunting and repping. That bitch was a little savage.
I told you how we used to ride the limo service with Stunna and shit like that. Those same people had luxury rentals too. By Derek building that relationship up with that rental company, he could go get luxury rentals. So he'll be riding around uptown in a bubble line Lexus when nobody don't know that's a rental car. But he had it. So he was able to get those cars and they know who his uncle is, you feel me?
Like I kid you not, one time the little bitch Derek hop in the truck with me and we shoot to the 6th wall. Me, him, and Nude, the rest in peace Nude, their cousin. We out there and we were fucking with him. We were like, man, bitch, let's shoot some dice. And I look at him, I'm like, this bitch don't want to shoot no dice. I said, hey, y'all don't shoot no dice with that, man. I said, that my little people don't shoot no dice with him, son. You know, like, man, fuck that, man. That bitch want to shoot some dice, we gonna shoot some dice. Man, them shot dice for about 5 minutes, man. When Derek lost his money, that bitch pulled 2 irons out and took everybody's money and gave me my money back when we got back in the truck. I said, bitch, don't you ever do that shit no more, man. He said, oh, I had to get the bitch, you heard me? I said, man, you got to chill, bitch. Everybody can't get got. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how you was rocking.
Derek, one time, I remember Megan going to pick a little chick up, you know what I'm saying, from school. They sprayed all the money all over the floor, put the money all in the glove compartment, you hear me? So when she get in the car, you hear me? He gone with his move on her. She get in the car, he tell her look for something in the glove compartment. She open the bitch, money falling out the glove compartment, you feel me? He tell her go on the thing, money all in there, you know what I'm saying? So she young, that on her mind. Man, crying laughing about this shit though, man. That was crucial. He do all kind of shit, man. That's really the #1 stunner.
Rest in peace, Lil Derek. I'm on the bus. A girl hit me like, Sue, why I see your cousin under the bridge with a gun bigger than him? I said, who? She talking about Lil Derek. Look, I called that boy like, bitch, what you doing under the bridge? What this little said? She see my cousin with a gun bigger than him. She said, nah, Sue, that bitch tripping. Look what he said. How big she said the gun was?
Derek used to be with the bullshit, but he was a smart ass nigga. Yeah. That's what a lot of niggas didn't know, you see what I'm saying? He was a smart ass nigga. The bitch was like way ahead of his time. Way ahead of his time as a young and just the way he rocked in the streets, he rocked just like, at that time, everybody was rocking like that. You know what I'm saying? We all run around ready to sling that iron and strapped up at any given time. If we see an opportunity, you know what I'm saying? They could be out of town, nigga, anybody. Nigga, you come around us with all that motherfucking jewelry on and flexing and think you just gonna slide, bitch. And yeah, I can have money at that time and we'll get you.
I never realized like my brother's status, like, you know, while he was living. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll have times like, you hear him, I'm by my partners in the house or something. And they playing on the radio. Like, you know what I'm saying? But to me, that was just my brother. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, like I said, I never realized how big, like I knew he was rapping, but I never knew it was like that colossal.
Did people know you as Lil Derek, bro?
If it did, it was like I didn't see it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I know for one thing, my family, like, yeah, I guess you could say that because I know for a fact, like, my family was a popular family. We always almost had a house full of people all the time like that. But I don't think nobody ever really, like, then, like, oh, that's the Derek brother. Unless, like, you know, around some, you know, some street, some shit like that. And, like, you know, they'll just make that stamp.
Ain't no count with him and hugging. I'm young and I'm thugging. Derek out the St. Thomas and I'm out here busting. Young and wildly hugging. I'm a fool with that too. Hit the block and bro dead. Wicked bloom, bloom, bloom. Fuck a man, so I come naked face. Whoever I when I ride, that's to my chopper waist.
I talked to Derek's mom the day before his birthday, and me and her got an understanding with each other about she had really misunderstood my take on me when I said me and Derek was riding in a limo and we kept the money for the limo that night. And you know how online people be, is they take a story and just run with it. And she really didn't appreciate how that came off. And I actually, you know, I had to chuckle it up and tell her I'm sorry. And you know, I would do that for any one of my friends, mama, and I hope that they would do the same. And I apologize to her about the way, you know, how, you know, people took the story and, you know, flipped it like we stole from Birdman or whatever. But not people not understanding that we as kids, we do crazy things. You feel me? And it just wasn't taken like that, you know, for online, or it got back to a certain type of way and she didn't like it. And I had to apologize to her before that. You know, you got a lot of YouTubers now doing stories on everything. And she saw where somebody went to the scene where Derek got killed at on YouTube. And she was like, he said nothing but good things in that interview about him. And then she said the following week, the same person did an interview and was like, Derek tried to rob him and stuff like that.
Some people, they should read the books before they, before they get out here and be saying things out their mouth that they don't know what they be saying and stuff,
I just know that she explaining how she feel about, growing up, raising her child and missing him and seeing stuff on the internet, that might depict him as a negative person and, coping with his passing after all of these years. And she sees stuff and it triggers her to this day. And she says she just had got to the point where she able to listen to some of his songs.
My brother and my mama was really close. Like, Like, dog, if you see pictures of them, they look just alike. Like, Like, they was really close like that. Like,
He was her first.
Right. Like, they was really close.
You feel like she got over it?
Oh, fuck no. Man, shit no, bro. Like, man, nobody, a mother will never get over that, bro. A loss of a child, man, shit no, that's something they're gonna live with them forever.
19 years still feel like yesterday, So, what is 19 or 20 years, but it still feel like yesterday. I can picture that same pain as of yesterday, like it just happened to you. And it don't get better when time go on, but you do learn to live through the pain. But people say, well, give it time, it's gonna get better. No, it's not gonna get better, but God enables you to live through it. So this picture up here was the last concert Derek did in New Orleans, and I'm trying to think what that was, at the warehouse or something, I think it was. But that was the last picture he did, the last concert, and you can see the joy on his face. And somebody took that while he was on the set. He had a neck of chewing a straw. He loved to chew straws. As a matter of fact, when he died, he had a straw. They gave me a straw where he had been chewing on a straw, so he loved to chew straws.